Let's go. Welcome back, everyone, to
Card Smarter.
Not Harder.
My name is Daniel.
And I'm Stefan, and we are back here with another episode.
And a public service announcement.
Daniel, put it out. Put it out.
Public service announcement. Hold on to your points.
Yep.
For the love of God, just keep them. If you don't know what to do with them, then don't use them.
Correct.
Right.
I couldn't agree with you anymore, for sure.
So let's get into the episode. We had our public service announcement.
Yep.
Everybody needed to know that. But now we're going to talk about if I can't redeem my points for cash
Yeah.
or a statement credit, what do I do with it? Right.
And that goes into everyone's favorite thing, or not everyone's favorite thing, but Daniel's favorite thing to do, travel.
Yep.
Yep.
Right. So there's so many different things that you can do when it comes to your points. So
Yep.
when you go through like your Chase app, when you go through Capital One,
For sure.
and you go to like redeem rewards, like there's so many different options. And I think this is part of the game where not many people are well versed on. And I think that's why they just go straight to cashback.
Yeah.
Or straight to redeem for cash or redeem for gift cards. I think
Redeem
banks do it.
gift cards. I've seen that a lot.
Yeah,
The redeem for gift cards is a big one for sure. Yeah.
But then I'm also going to say at the end of the day,
Yeah.
what people decide to do with their points, it's totally up to them.
It's up to you. I just don't want to see you with your Apple gift cards that you redeemed from Chase.
Don't even get me started. I was literally thinking about that
Yeah.
when we were like hanging out just now. The amount of people that come here with like $100 gift card, $100 gift card, and then it comes in like the American Express
Yeah, like they're all
envelope.
hyped and stuff, and you're just like, oh man, you could have gotten you could have paid for a couple round trip flights right there.
Literally.
That's unfortunate.
I'm like, oh, cool. What welcome offer was that for? And they're like, yeah, I just got this gold card. And I was like,
You're like, oh no,
it's
terrible.
okay. I don't know them personally. It's your world. I'm just living in it.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. No, for sure.
So let's get back into it. Option number one, obviously, redeem for gift cards, redeem for cash back, statement credits. That's totally fine. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, like I think there is value to it, especially if you simply don't want to pay for anything or if you just want to get paid back immediately for some of the purchases.
For sure.
I think that's totally fine. I think
Yeah.
that's a fantastic option. What we're going to talk about more is just very, very basic intro, like what are some solid ways to look at redeeming your points?
Yeah.
And in earlier episodes, we've actually talked about that.
Yeah. No, for sure.
So the first option really is skipping through cashback, gift cards, statement credits, and looking in your travel portal.
Yeah.
So the way that you looked at the Hawaiian Airlines flights or United flights to get to Hawaii, right,
Yeah.
through Capital One's travel portal, I would say that would be the first step to figuring out how points work.
Yeah.
When you look at your travel portal,
Yeah.
you're going to see a bunch of different flights
Yeah.
and hotels for a whole lot of airlines.
Yeah.
And what you'll notice is you're going to see the cash value for the flights. And then right underneath, you're going to see the point value for
Yeah.
the flights.
Yeah.
So the really important thing that we're going to talk about is
Yeah.
the cent per point value.
For sure. For sure.
So when you look at cent per point, you just look at the cash value. So if the flight's $200 and you add 2 zeros to that, so $200 equates to about 20,000 points.
Yeah.
So that's 1 cent per point. That is the absolute minimum that I would recommend.
Yeah.
If it's anything less than 1 cent per point, this is where we would look elsewhere.
Yeah. Correct.
Or we would just pay cash.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
So
True.
this is kind of like something where a lot of people are on the fence about where do I pay cash? Do I use points?
Yeah.
I think looking at the travel portal, comparing that to Google Flights, for example, I think that's a great first step to see like basically what does the cent per point look like?
Yeah.
There are people, there's two types of people.
Yeah.
There's people that have not that many points, like you and I, and
Yeah.
we want to stretch our points as far as possible.
Juice them. Really.
Exactly.
Really juice those points.
Your welcome offer for a card can be like 100,000 points.
Yeah.
And if, let's say, Delta Airlines is charging you 45,000 points one way, so 90,000 points, that's something where I would think very heavily not doing,
That's painful.
especially if it's 1 cent per point.
Yeah. No.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's just a little bit on like what cent per point is and what to like really look at and what to really value.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, it's just a great starting point. Like, this is how much it's going to cost dollars. This is how much it's going to cost via points.
Yeah,
And
for
then
sure.
if you're the other side of life where you have like millions of points
Yeah.
and you really don't care and you
Yeah.
simply just don't want to pay cash for it, you use those points.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I mean, on the other hand, right, obviously for me and my mindset, I'm all for utilizing those points, really juicing them, making sure you can get the most value out of them.
Hmm.
But I also think about conveniency too, right? I mean, when people go in onto their travel portal, Capital One, I know from personal experience, they make it very easy comparing
Hmm.
and finding the lowest cost for the flight and showing you all the different areas that you can purchase and all that stuff like that. Um so I understand the conveniency of using those points
Hmm.
through those travel portals, but taking that extra step on taking a look at different links or going on all these on the specific airline websites
Yeah. Yeah.
and, and seeing those same flights and how many points it would cost to book it through them.
Yep.
That's something I highly
So that
recommend
would
getting
be
into.
step two.
Yeah.
Step two is a little bit more advanced. I'd say that's like intermediate slash high level,
Yeah.
where you can have your airline of choice,
Yeah.
right? So if you always travel United,
Yeah.
you can go to the United's website.
For
If
sure.
I always travel Southwest religiously, consistently, I just go through Southwest's
Yeah.
website. And then what you do is you make an account for whatever airline you want. It's totally free. And
And start getting those.
you unlock the ability to book with points or
Yeah.
book with miles in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
And that's essentially where you start seeing a lot more higher cents per point. It depends on whether you're traveling internationally or whether you're traveling domestically.
Yeah.
What I found is domestic rewards are few and far between when it comes to like high cent per point value. I wouldn't expect much for that.
Yeah.
If you're getting around 1.5 or more cents per point for domestic, I say that's a win.
That is a win.
A lot of
100%.
times I would say book it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. Compared to international, that's one
Yeah, yeah.
big gun.
International flights, that's where everything goes crazy.
Yeah.
There's an option at the bottom, so you have cashback, you have gift cards, you have your everything else, you have
Yeah.
your travel portal,
Yeah.
but at the very bottom, you'll see transfer points. And that's what a lot of people are very, very skittish about, and that's what they're not well aware of,
Yeah.
and they're not sure on how to do it. The first thing I would recommend is do not transfer points unless number one, you have the flight literally exactly what you
Yes,
want.
that is a big one for sure. Yeah.
You do not transfer the points unless you have the exact flight, the
Yeah.
exact dates, and number two, it's available.
Yeah. Yeah. That's another one. Last thing you want is transferring those points and then
Yes,
your flight's gone and you're like,
because you know what you can't do after you transfer them to a partner?
you cannot bring them
You
back.
cannot bring them back.
They're gone.
They're gone. They are going to feel so defeated.
For
They are going to
sure.
feel really bad. And it's going to turn a lot of people off of
Yeah.
just credit cards in general, traveling in general,
For
things like
sure.
that.
For sure.
So those are probably like the two biggest pro tips when it comes to transferring points,
Yeah.
right? Um,
Is making sure your value goes a long way,
exactly.
as well as making sure that you are confident
Yep.
and more than confident when making that transfer, because last thing you want is being in a scenario where you have to use that airline and you have no
Hmm.
other choice.
Hmm. Exactly. It's
I'm just
okay.
kidding.
It's okay. But like if everything lines up and everything goes right, the cent per point value, just the value in general is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'll get into kind of like my Japan trip that I'm planning. I haven't planned it yet.
Hmm.
That'll be in the next little section. But when it comes to transferring points to partners, the
Yeah.
way that you determine the cent per point value
Hmm.
is you go to the website
Yeah.
and then you look at essentially how many points for this trip,
Yeah.
right? So let's say you're going to go to New York. You go to, let's say, Delta's website,
Yeah.
and then Delta's website, it's going to tell you it's going to be this many points, right?
Yeah.
Um, you will then compare that through Google Flights.
Okay.
So that's how I do it.
Yeah.
You get the point value from the airline first,
Yeah.
make sure it's available, and then you go to Google Flights. You essentially search the exact same route.
Okay.
So then you pick the day, you go from San Francisco to JFK,
Yeah.
wherever, and then you search. and then it gives you the long list of different flights, right?
Yeah, because there's going to be different airlines, different
Exactly.
flights, different costs,
Yep.
all that.
So then you find the exact same flight
Yeah,
from the Delta website.
that you originally saw.
And then what you do is it's going to hit you with a number.
Yeah,
And the pro tip that I have is you select flight or
yeah.
select options, I believe it
Okay.
is, because what that's going to show you, it's not going to take you to Delta's website. It's going to show you this is basic economy cash, this is main cabin economy cash, and then this is Delta premium economy, right? The way that a reward redemption works, so when you use points to purchase flights,
Yeah.
you are not getting basic economy. You are automatically upgraded to main cabin.
Mm,
So you get the middle option. And this is why it's important to talk about this
yeah.
because when people go on Google Flights and they see that it's $50 less
Yeah.
or it's the same price,
Yeah.
they're looking at basic economy fares.
Because when you book through the airline,
You get main cabin, right?
yeah,
So
interesting.
when you do select options, you
Yeah.
look at the main cabin and there's going to be some airlines where they're charging you almost $100 more for that main
Sheesh.
cabin.
Sheesh.
Yeah. Um, and that's like the biggest pro tip. And that is truly where you start deciding, do I pay points
Yeah.
or
Or do
do
I
I
pay
pay
just cash
cash?
value?
Right? Getting back to the nitty gritty,
Yes,
that is essentially how I look at point redemptions,
for sure.
value redemptions,
For
cent per
sure.
point. The things that will really elevate that is I spend money on applications
Yeah.
that do the work for me.
Yeah.
It's not AI, it's not anything like that,
Yeah.
but there's a couple applications, one of which it's named Seats.arrow.
Seats dot
So
arrow.
I pay $10 a month for it.
Okay.
I find so much value in it because the way that it works is you just put your home airport, destination airport,
Yeah.
and then you can pick a date range.
I see.
So I can do a date range up to 128 days. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
And then it's going to show me every single reward redemption for every single airline.
Interesting.
So it saves me the time of going to United's website.
And
Do you
go
have availability?
Yeah, yeah. And going in instead of going back and forth, back and forth, back and
Yeah.
forth, comparing, contrasting, you have everything right there in front of you.
For me, the value of time, there is no cost to it. So before, when I would spend maybe weeks and weeks trying to find an award flight, I
Yeah.
now spend minutes. So when I asked you, like, what airport are you flying into? What
Yeah.
are the dates? Things like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I told you within 5 minutes,
Yeah. Yeah, you did.
right?
You did.
And that's kind of the superpower of applications like that. There are free versions, but they are very limited.
Yeah.
But I think that's also something to look into where there are free ways to just have AI in this case or applications kind of just tell you, hey, this is how much points it's going to be. This is going to be the quickest. This is going to be the best value, and then this is kind of our pick.
Yeah. But yeah, that's those strategies I feel like are very important, and I
Mhm.
think they can apply towards everyone.
Yeah,
No matter the situation you're in. If you have points, really just making sure that you get the value out of them. And
yeah,
from what
and
Daniel was saying, it's just he's putting everyone on game. That's
putting
all I can
everybody on
say.
game. Um, Booking flights is not something that you fly by the seat of your pants.
Yeah. Good one.
It's something that's methodical, it's well thought out, it's
Yeah.
planned. It could be something where it is a last minute type of a deal.
Yeah.
And I think that really gets us going into, the last part of the conversation that we're going to have, which is how do you look at or planning your travel.
Yeah.
So like how far in advance? What
Yeah.
does that look like for you? What
Yeah.
are the things that you do?
Yeah.
And then we could talk about how far in advance I look at things,
Yeah.
the thoughts, the process, things like that.
Yeah.
And then maybe I can talk a little bit about my reward redemptions that are coming up
Yeah.
versus the reward redemptions in the future and how those have drastically changed,
For sure.
even though it's essentially the same process. But with what I know now, it's actually kind of insane. So yeah.
Yeah. No. I guess for myself, how far I plan in advance, to be completely honest with you, I don't travel as often as I wish I did.
So let's talk about potentially your trip to Texas that you are planning,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So based off of the conversation that we had like
Yeah.
a couple of days ago,
Yeah.
I think you and I methodically went through a whole bunch of different factors.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that when it comes to domestic travel, I would say
Okay.
you should at least book a month and a half in advance.
Yeah.
Something that we've noticed is the longer you wait, the more expensive it gets,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. No, for sure.
And that's kind of like the sweet spot because once you get within that month, that's where everybody else is just like panic mode,
They're like, I gotta book something. I gotta
right?
book something.
This is why you can request vacation time
Yeah.
up to a year in advance,
Yeah.
right? This is why you can essentially plan for things like that. And this is kind of like, I wouldn't say it's a trap, but it's something that a lot of people should consider where if they are booking within 1 month,
Yeah.
they're going to be in one of two situations.
Oh
So
yeah.
for your
That's
Texas trip right now, the prices are looking really good, right? So the prices are very competitive
yeah.
to point redemptions. And this is where when I looked on seats.arrow,
Yeah.
I immediately discovered that the amount of points plus the taxes and fees was actually the same amount, if not more, than paying cash, right?
Which makes more sense to just book cash.
Which makes more sense to book cash. And that's why booking at least a month and a half in advance
Yeah.
is really, really beneficial.
Yeah.
You can also do last minute bookings, but that is just a whole level of suicide that I don't want anybody to have to endure,
Yeah.
where you have to essentially wait within 2 weeks of booking and sometimes either even 1 week of booking. And that's when the airlines are just trying to fill their seats.
Sheesh.
So when it comes to your Texas trip,
Yeah.
that month and a half, I would say for domestic
Yeah.
is standard. I would, if you're within that 1.5 month,
Yeah.
be prepared
Yeah.
to either use a ton of points or a
Or
ton of money,
a ton of money. Yeah.
right?
Which is unfortunate. But I think like the main thing that Daniel is saying, from my understanding, right,
Hmm.
is w- there's that there's that like threshold where if you're within that month to a month and a half, you will most likely find more value just paying
Hmm.
cash and getting points for that compared to past that month and a half. That's where you'd see yourself utilizing those points
Yeah.
for more value. Obviously, it depends on what you're booking, right?
Hmm.
So, for example, my rundown on how I'm going to book this Texas trip is most likely, or not most likely. I am going to use my $300 annual credit through
Oh,
my Venture X.
there we go.
Just book through cash
Yeah.
and then pay the rest because I'm guessing the flight's going to be no more than 450 for a round trip. I'd hope not.
When I checked, it was like $180 each way.
Oh, beautiful,
Yeah.
perfect. So something like that, that's where because of my situation, my scenario,
Hmm.
I can utilize that $300 because as of right now, I don't plan on traveling anywhere for the rest of the year.
Hmm.
And if
Hmm.
I do, I'd be booking much more in advance than this trip right now,
Yeah.
as long as I get those days off, obviously. And stay is obviously covered too. But
Yeah.
I think, yeah, no, I think Daniel, you've been touching on a lot of very, very good points
Yeah.
for sure.
All super valid. I think we both agree on this because I also have some domestic travel as well.
Yeah.
I just came back from Chicago and I had
Yeah.
a mix of point redemptions and cash.
y-
So our flight to Chicago, we booked it, I'd probably say about 2 months in advance. So that's from San Francisco to Chicago.
Okay.
I looked at the points as far as directly through United. I looked at seats.arrow and everything was about equal to what I would pay cash.
Yeah.
It was kind of like one of those anomalies where I was just like, huh, I'm gonna pay cash. Good thing I have a platinum card, you
Yeah.
know?
It's that thing where you don't want to pay cash because you know that you have these points that are
Yep,
sitting there and these points are meant to be used,
yep,
right? They're
yep.
meant to be redeemed, they're meant to be able to get some value out of it. And it's like whenever you book cash, you're like,
It's a feels bad.
ugh, you're like, dang, do I have to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is where like the mixing of reward redemptions or point redemptions and cash came very, very much in handy
Yeah.
because we went from San Francisco to Chicago, paid cash. It
Yeah.
was like $150 a person.
Okay.
And then we went from Chicago to Michigan.
Okay.
This is about equivalent to a flight from San Francisco to Las Vegas
Okay.
or San Francisco to LA.
Okay.
So you essentially sit on a plane for 45 minutes.
Yeah, or it's nothing.
This is where we redeemed points. And it's actually kind of crazy. Like, I could not believe this, and I don't think anybody's going to believe it.
I want to hear.
The flight per person
Yeah.
was $250 per person
For 45 minutes.
for a 45-minute flight.
Oh my gosh.
It was the wildest thing I've ever seen. I don't get it. I think it's because Grand Rapids or Michigan just has really small airports. So that's another thing to look at, right?
So it's higher demand, I guess.
When I looked at Alaskan Airlines,
Yeah.
when I looked at point redemptions,
Yeah.
it was 5,000 points per person. Yeah, no brainer. No
What
brainer.
is
So,
something like that? Oh yeah, that is a great example.
and
Wow, interesting.
and that's why you look at the cash value and then you also look at the point value so that you
He,
can make the best decision.
so what you're telling me is people get robbed every single day
People that don't do their
booking flights
research
and don't
will
do the
get
research. They are getting robbed.
you'll get taxed. If your
Wow,
goal
interesting.
if your goal is to just get points
Yeah,
and you have the cards to do it, yeah, pay cash is totally fine.
for sure.
But if you have the points and you're considering, do I pay cash or do I use points? This is essentially like the blueprint. Like this is where it comes in handy.
Yeah.
Because if you do the math, I could put the actual mathematics in the description for the video. But if you do the math, you have a $500 flight and you're paying 10,000 points. That's 5 cents per point. So now we're going to start talking just really briefly about the 0.6 cents per points that you get for gift cards, right? So
0.6. That
0.6 for gift
40%
cards,
thrown out the window.
5 cents for that redemption.
Yeah.
This is the game that we play.
Yeah.
We have now just times 8 our points,
Yep.
right? Times 9 almost.
Yeah.
9
Yeah.
times the value for those points,
It's crazy.
right?
Yeah.
And that's just a little bit on like domestic travel.
Yeah.
And just going back one more time, domestic travel, you are for the most part going to be taking L's.
For the most part, yeah, that's
For
very
the most
true.
part, like if you can get anything around 1.4, 1.5, I would say just book it.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything more than that, that's a stretch. You're really trying to juice it, and
Exactly.
and there's nothing left.
Yeah, unless you have like some wild redemption through Alaskan Airlines or American Airlines, which are the
Alaskan Airlines.
two top redemptions, period. Like
Damn.
there's nothing better. So this is kind of where we have the domestic.
Yeah.
We plan around 2 months in advance, right?
Yeah.
International, we may be a little bit different. I
Hmm.
would say I've already booked 2 international trips.
Yeah.
I think you might still be in the consideration stage of international trips.
Myself, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe Colombia. At the end of no, I'm just actually. You want to know what? Sorry, hold on. I'm thinking now.
Yeah.
I might be going to Costa Rica to visit family.
Ooh. And you got chase points, right? A little bit.
I have like 15,000.
15,000? Hey, that's not bad. So build up your chase points. Because I guess the next part,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
tie this
Going
actually
into it.
ties perfectly, you have to figure out what airlines takes you where.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So
Oh yeah,
for your
yeah,
Costa Rica trip, what you can do is you go on Google Flights and then you essentially see what's the most optimal route.
yeah,
I can tell you the answer. It's either American Airlines or JetBlue
yeah.
for Costa Rica.
Okay.
But this is where you're like, huh, I want to go to Japan. I want to go to Europe. I want to go to Brazil. And that's it. That's all the thought that goes into it. But
Yeah,
the thing that will level up the game is I need to figure out how to get there.
yeah,
I'm not booking the trips right now,
yeah,
but I need to figure out if I have points, what points are going to get me there,
yeah.
what ecosystems are going to get me there,
For sure.
right? And
And who has the specific travel partners to be able to
right.
move those points
So
over?
if your goal is to go to Costa Rica,
Yeah,
then what you should be doing is what airlines gets me there. If you're interested in hotel stays, what are the hotel stays over there?
yeah,
I just came back from Costa Rica, so I can just give you all that
yeah,
information.
yeah. No, for
But
sure.
for one that doesn't have a resource or a buddy that travels, this is essentially how you do it.
Yeah,
Go to Google Flights and then start comparing point redemptions versus cash. So it really just goes back to what we were talking about earlier.
yeah,
And if you find that these point redemptions are amazing,
yeah.
you now know what points to accumulate,
For sure.
right? So for you, chase points because JetBlue, things like that.
Which is unfortunate because I no longer have the preferred. I downloaded to the Freedom and I still Cashback. So Chase is not going to work out, unfortunately.
So chase is not going to work out.
Chase
But
is
then
not.
there's also other
There's other options.
there's other
That's all I
options.
gotta say. There's other options, but Going into
Big stat.
yeah, I know. I was like, chase points, yeah.
Ay, ay,
It's okay.
ay.
It's all right.
This is why I plan so far out in advance. So
Yeah.
for me, I plan at least a year and a half in advance. I
Okay.
don't book a year and a half in advance. That is not possible. You can the most the earliest you can book is 350 days in advance, and in some cases 355 days in advance. And then so what
Yeah.
I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to accumulate points, like as much American Express points as possible so that I can book ANA. So I can book a trip to Japan. And this is where it gets wild.
Oh
It gets
man.
wild. So I'll break things down, but a year and a half in advance, like I started planning to accumulate points about 2 months ago.
Okay.
So me and Lena, me and player two,
Me and player two.
she was just like, I want to go to Japan. I was like, I've been wanting to go to Japan my whole life,
Let's go.
dude. Yeah.
You're
So I'm like, send it. Let's
like,
go.
let's do it. Let's go. Boom, 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 boom.
activate activate the American Express
Yeah, yeah,
cards.
yeah.
Right. Autobots roll out, right?
Autobots roll out.
So we've been accumulating points. We've been all in on the American Express ecosystem.
Okay.
And this is kind of like where you have like I know what airline I'm going to get to, right? So we're getting back to the basics. I know what airline's going to take me there. I know how to search for the points. I know how to redeem the points, right? So now get the points.
And that just means spending that moolah.
Spending that moolah, but in a method where it is
Gonna be
not
beneficial for you, and you're gonna be
exactly
accumulating a lot of points along the way. Like, you're not gonna just start, I don't know, buying random things or just using your Amex for gas.
yeah.
Not the gold business,
Yeah.
but the
Yeah, yeah,
other
yeah.
two. You're not gonna start
You're
putting
not
that kind of.
sacrificing the value like your multipliers
Yeah,
specifically for American Express
yeah,
points. Um, so yeah, there's that.
yeah,
You can look at credit cards that have great welcome offers
yeah,
that's in that ecosystem
yeah,
that you might not have yet, because that's another fantastic way of getting points really quickly.
for sure.
But I don't have that luxury. So this is where this very slow, methodical approach of just building up points naturally is going to come so clutch.
Yeah,
And this is why you book so far out in advance, or you look so far in advance so you give yourself time to get those points.
you're like, okay, I got a 3 month window
3 month window. I mean, for
to
some
start
people
going
it's six
crazy.
months, some
Yeah,
people it's a year,
yeah,
right? You can still book flights 6 months in advance, 2 months in advance, right?
yeah.
But I am looking for very, very, very specific tickets.
I
And
see.
this is where it gets crazy.
Uh-oh.
So the specific tickets that I'm looking for
W-
ANA first class. So this is low key, high key, one of my dreams.
Okay.
So there are two seats
Yeah.
that I want my cheeks to be in. And that is ANA, the room,
The room.
the room. So it's their first class suite. And then the second one is Emirates Q Suites. So those are my dreams.
Bro is living lavish.
Emirates, that's where there's a whole
Emirates is the nice one. Isn't there a bar?
there's a bar. All right.
Sorry,
So
going back.
Emirates Q Suites.
Yeah.
Lifelong dream. I don't know when it's gonna happen.
Okay.
Probably not for the next 2 to 5 years, because it's just so impossible to get points. It is
It's
so
hella
impossible to book
expensive.
those seats. But ANA is within grasp. Okay. And then so let's break it down. I was actually talking to some friends about this and it blew their minds.
Okay.
So for a one-way ticket to from San Francisco to Japan, it could be anywhere depending on if it's high season or low season.
Yeah.
It could be anywhere between 75,000 points and 85,000 points.
75,000 points and 80,000 points. This
85,000
is
points.
this is one way or round trip?
That's one way.
Okay.
So that's equivalent to about $750
Yeah,
to
it's
$850, right?
$850.
Plus taxes and fees, you're looking at net
And I'm
$1,000.
guessing you multiply this by two for one person because you're thinking
Correct.
of your flight back, right?
Correct.
So we're
So
looking at about 16, $1,700
so yeah, anywhere between 16, 17 to 2,000.
for
So
one.
low side to high side. That's for one way for two people.
Okay.
The point redemption for this is astronomical. So I have to book these literally the day they come out,
You
355
better.
days in advance, right? We were looking at Google Flights
Yeah.
and I was just like chatting with people and I was like, how much money, like if you were to pay cash,
Yeah.
how much do you think this would be worth? and they're like, first class, I don't know, maybe like $4,000, $5,000. I'm
Holy.
like, that's a good guess.
Yeah.
That's a good guess. We pull up the exact same flight. Obviously, it was just like a random day.
Yeah.
Do you want to guess how much it is?
So if you're telling me points wise, you can get it 75 to 85,000
Mm-hmm.
one way,
Yep.
and total is going to come out to around 1,600,
Yep.
right? Let's just say, right? I'm gonna have to put out 25,
25 what?
2,500 round trip,
2,500 round trip.
meaning, or let's just say 24, meaning that a flight one way is gonna be about $1,200.
And then this is just if you pay cash.
This is if you pay cash, or maybe $1,500.
$1,500.
$1,500.
Okay.
Yeah, if you pay cash one way from SFO to Japan.
Got it. It's $15,000
Yo, $15,000 one way,
per person.
bro. That's a no brainer. That is a
These
no
are
brainer. That is
30
crazy.
$30,000 seats.
Dude, everyone's gonna be like, "Dude, oh my gosh, what do you do
Daniel,
for
how do you
work,
do
man?
this?
What do you?"
I live life, bro. I'm not paying cash for them.
Dude, that's
Absolutely not.
crazy.
So when you think of like the American Express Gold Card and how
Yeah,
it gives you 100,000 points,
yeah,
that's a $15,000 seat and then some. You could fly economy on the way back. I don't care.
yeah,
Like
yeah. At least one way, if you can. Dang, dude,
so
that's crazy.
there are certain international trips where oh my goodness, the reward
Daniel's
redemptions are
gonna do
so
it.
good.
He's thinking he's like, it's in my he's gonna do it. I know he is.
I have about 80,000 American Express points currently sitting
Oh,
in
could be
my
transferred.
no, in American Express. So
Okay,
I have 80,000 currently sitting in American Express,
okay.
and then I am hoping that Rakuten gives me about 100,000. So I'm booking the tickets, I would say first week of November.
Okay. Oh, you
And
you got time then.
yep, so I'm hoping to have about 200 to 220,000 American Express
And
points.
if you get that 220,
Send it.
send it.
Send it.
Send it.
I'm going to Japan.
There you go. Do it.
And that's if they're available,
Yeah.
right? So at the end of the day,
They're gonna
like,
be available. Okay.
yeah,
We're gonna put that good thought out there.
there's so much value that you can bring to your credit card points.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it doesn't really make a difference to me or you
Yeah.
what other people choose to do with their points, but we're just trying to offer a whole bunch of different ways to think about it before you make a decision on whether or not you're going to get a gift card or whether or not you're going to just get a statement credit,
Yeah.
things like that. And this is where I think a lot of people have that gap where they're not thinking travel when it comes to points.
Yeah.
They're thinking, I'm in debt, right?
Yeah.
And when someone thinks I'm in debt, they think of, I just need to pay all this off. And I think that's where the credit card companies win.
Because they're like, yes, they're not using I always say utilize. They're not using those points
Exactly.
for
They're not really
their full
benefiting off of
potential.
it,
Yeah.
not getting the full potential. It's just this cycle of I'm going to use the card, I'm going to pay it off. I have no money in my checking or savings, so I use the card and then my paycheck goes back to the card.
And then what's the point of
Yeah.
having a card like that if you're just
Yep.
gonna be
You can
using
definitely
that?
live paycheck to paycheck, like with a credit card,
Yeah.
and still use and leverage the points.
Yeah.
So that's another kind of pro tip where it's
No,
like just
for
leave
sure.
the points alone.
For sure.
Just do your best not to touch them because
I just let them accumulate. I let them grow. Think of it almost like investing, right? When you
yeah,
invest something, you invest in the market, you just let it sit there, right? You're not gonna look every single day and be like, dude, I just lost $200. Like, oh, I'm never gonna make that money back. No,
yep,
you leave it there, you let it grow,
yep,
you let it grow over time,
yep.
and a year from then, you're gonna be like, wait, hold on,
Hmm.
I'm up $800.
Yeah.
That's something.
But you know what they say, different strokes for different folks.
Yeah.
And and with that, my name's Daniel.
I'm Stefan.
Thanks for watching.
Card smarter, not
Not
harder.
harder. Yee.